Hi, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Danny.
And welcome to Sink Your Teeth In, the show where we take a bite out of all things spooky so you can get your fill.
This is episode 28, Story Time, Home Invasion.
Dun, dun, dun.
Welcome back, Little Omens. Today we're going to be reading another Reddit story for you all. This time about a home invasion.
But before we read our home invasion story, let us invade your homes by clicking that subscribe button. You like that, huh?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so Charlie's going to read us this lovely little spooky story. Take it away.
It is a tiny bit long, but I think you'll really like it. This is trigger warning. This is about home invasion. If that's not your that's not what you fucks with, then subscribe and come back later.
This is our third now Reddit story, so there are some to choose from.
Yeah. But I think you'll like this with the outcome that it has.
Okay.
Yeah.
She fuck his shit up.
This is from this user linked here. This reads Home Invasion. And it starts off. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi. This incident happened about 5 years ago. This is a story that I never really tell anymore because most people are either uncomfortable hearing it or make well-meaning comments about what I should have done in this situation, without really understanding how differently your mind works when you're experiencing absolute panic.
I think that's true. People can say, like, this is what I would have done, but you really don't know until you know.
And honestly, like, what good does that do? You were not there. And, like, if I told you a story that happened 5 years ago and you're like, you know what I would have done? I'd have been like, shut the fuck up. That's what you would have done.
Or, like, what you should have done. I'm a what you should have done person. But it's more so, like, for the future, like, if that happens again. But something like this, I probably would not. Except I would have been like...
So back to...
I'm gonna cut that out, don't worry.
Back to typical Sakota 41. I was living in a relatively nice apartment in downtown Memphis, working as an ophthalmic technician.
This is why Chucky picked the story. He's a hard-on for ophthalmologists.
You know what? When they do it all, so hey.
Memphis, Tennessee, so this is the South.
This is the South.
The whites are a little crazy.
I arrived home from work at my usual time around 4:30, unlocked my door, went inside. I set my phone, wallet, and keys on the kitchen island, hearing my heavy metal door swing shut loudly behind me, and began taking care of some errands around the house.
Metal door?
Yes.
Who has a metal door?
I have a metal door.
That's wood, bestie.
That is not wood, bestie. That is metal.
That's not metal.
It's a metal plated door.
Metal plated? Is that what they're talking about?
Would you like
Heavy
me to...
metal door?
I will comment, and we will see if we can get clarification. I think you're hung up on the wrong thing.
Okay, sorry.
A heavy door of material had closed behind her. I will let you fill in that material, whatever sits well with you.
Okay.
Having grown up in a small town, it was a habit for me not to lock my door during the day, especially when I knew my husband would be home soon anyway.
Girl, no.
I'd never forgotten to lock my door once in the 5 years since this day.
Yeah.
Hey, lesson learned.
This goes out to my family who thinks I'm crazy for locking the door in the middle of the day.
Girl, okay, little quick side story about that. Never have I experienced that.
Not locking the door?
Yeah, I lock my door. I am OCD. I will lock my door and I will jimmy to make sure it is closed.
Last night I went to lock the door. I went to grab the thing. It was started opening. I was like, oh, nice. It wasn't even closed.
No.
This is the story of my life.
No, and then, but one time we were at your house, I locked your front door because I was the last one in. Let's just like force of habit. And then your dad came home like an hour later.
Yeah.
He was like, "Who the fuck locked this door?" I was like, "This is your front door, sir.
Yeah.
We are locking your front door."
Yeah.
So.
No, this is the hardship that I live in.
I walked to my bathroom. I walked through my bathroom and into my large walk-in closet and began hanging up the laundry that I had started earlier in the day before work. My front door opened. I smiled with surprise. My husband was home a little early, and I happily called out to him, "I'm in here, love." I was met with silence and slowly began to feel that sinking feeling of something's wrong crawl up my spine. I tried to shake it off, thinking my husband simply hadn't heard me. I walked in to my kitchen and living room area. Standing on the other side of my kitchen island was a complete stranger. A male, older than me, I would estimate 50s, but it's hard for me to recall exact facial features or details from this moment, and was just standing there, staring at me. No ski mask, no weapon.
That's how you know they're gonna kill you.
Just watching me.
Okay, but also how are you gonna break in and not be like, "Hi"? You just gonna be quiet? Fuck you.
I feel
At
like
least say something.
no, I feel like that's more intimidating.
No, it is, but
I
like
feel like
it's
that
annoying.
is so sinister.
Yeah.
But I would be so annoyed that I'd be like, okay.
You're gonna break into this fucking house and not
Yeah.
say anything? Hi, bitch.
Yeah.
Hi, knock knock, ding dong, bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I feel like that would give me the chance to be like, ah! And then be like, okay, now I'm annoyed. Now here comes the
Yeah.
internal rage. And
This is what I'm telling you. I don't ever want to experience this, and I feel really bad for this person. But let me tell you, the person who decides to break into my fucking house, girl, God be with you.
honestly,
Because you will be with him really quick.
straight up. I wondered if maybe he'd walked into the wrong apartment and was going to apologize and leave. But he just stood there, continuing to stare. I realized that I needed to do something other than just gape at the stranger in my house.
Yeah.
I stood taller, puffed up my chest in an attempt to look more threatening, which is hard to do for a small female. I used a loud, clear voice, telling him to get out of my apartment, that he had no business here. He completely ignored me, like I hadn't spoken. Then he began to pick up my things, my cell phone, my keys, my wallet. He picked them up methodically and put them into his own pockets.
Okay, bye, girl. Take it.
That's when it truly hit me that this person was dangerous. I was naive enough to believe that in the moment it was as all a mistake. I darted forward towards the only other device that would allow me to get help, my computer. I had taken a few steps closer to the intruder in order to reach it, but still had about 12 to 15 feet between us. So I knew I could grab it and run before he reached me. As I picked it up and turned to run, I saw him start to move after me. I sprinted back towards the bathroom because it was the only place that I could put two locked doors between us, my bathroom door and the closet door.
I'm sorry, she got a walk-in closet.
In this economy!
No, literally.
If you want a walk-in closet, all you have to do is become an ophthalmic
Yeah,
technician.
no, literally.
I slammed and locked the first door, and within seconds, I could hear him messing with it, trying to open it. I ran into my closet and locked that door too, opening my computer and getting on Facebook Messenger to contact my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I sent message after message, pleading him to call 911 and tell them there was an intruder in the apartment. He got the message within minutes and assured me that
Minutes?
if you reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, which granted this was 5 years ago, but if you did that today, girl, I am logged out of Facebook. If you were to reach me on Messenger, you would be dead.
I think you can actually call 911 through Facebook, though.
Oh, well, she didn't. She messaged her husband.
Well, I wouldn't know how to do it. But I'm just saying, I would send it to every single person I know.
No, literally. But I would also think, like I get your text messages at work sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'll get to that. And then it's like 20 minutes later.
So I'm not ever going to call you.
Please don't. All right, so he got the message within minutes and assured me that he had a dispatcher on the phone and was leaving work himself to try and get to me if he could. I waited.
This dude is not trying to break down the door or what?
He is. He's
okay.
Well, so
I feel like I could break through that door in a minute.
So it's kind of like how if that was the bathroom door and then this was her closet door. So he's trying to get into the bathroom.
But I don't think it would take me that long. I could kick through that door. I wouldn't. These are nice doors.
I waited and waited and waited. The bathroom door opened, the intruder came inside, and he moved to the closet door and started trying to break down that door too. Here's the part where people usually start giving me advice on how I should have acted, but all I can tell you is that I was frozen. With fear, with shock, I don't know. But I didn't scream or cry or search for a weapon in that dark closet. I didn't brace for the door. Hold the door! Hold the door! Or try to hold it closed. I just kneeled in my closet and waited to die because I knew that's what was going to happen.
I feel like sounds like a valid response.
Honestly.
Yeah.
People like to tell me that I lived in an apartment. Surely if you'd screamed, someone would have come and helped.
No.
Right?
No.
Honestly, no. Why didn't I do anything? I really don't have an answer for that. But the closet door miraculously held. I heard frustrated footsteps go back out into the living room area of the apartment. I heard things breaking, bottles shattering, my drawers and refrigerator and cabinets being flung open as things were torn out of them. I continued to sit in that closet, silently crying, wanting to leave, but that feeling of death was inevitable. I feel awful about my selfishness in the moment, but I messaged my mom, who lived 15 hours away.
Oh my God.
And told her what was happening. I desperately wanted comfort and told her how much I love her. I'm not a parent, but I can only imagine the fear and helplessness I put her through, knowing her daughter was in danger and there was nothing she could do to help. She messaged me constantly, begging to keep replying. I told her I would as long as I could, but I also told her to tell my brothers that I love them, to help my husband through whatever happened next if it ended badly for me. The intruder started messing with the closet door again, mumbling disjointed words that I couldn't really distinguish. I remember hoping that police would get to the apartment before my husband, that he wouldn't be the one to find me in whatever state this invader left me in. The front door opened again, and it was my husband, shouting for me. The intruder walked out towards the living room kitchen area again, where my front door was located, and I opened the door and darted from the closet to find my husband on the ground with him, pinning him in place. The man kept mumbling, at times yelling, but never really putting up much resistance. This entire part is a blur for me. I remember feeling the room was spinning, filled with fear, mostly for my husband at this point. Eventually, the police found the apartment. It took them about 25 minutes, which still blows my mind. I know that time seems to move slowly during scary situations, so I thought it was less than that. But from the time my husband dialed 911 to the time the officers arrived, it was 25 excruciating minutes.
That's a long time.
Right?
I've called the police a few times, mostly because there's been a lot of car accidents right outside my house.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, the people who always crash them, people always leave. It's very, whatever.
Oh, bye.
So it's like, can you come get this fucking car that someone abandoned? But they usually take forever.
Yeah.
I've never had them be like, okay, we'll be there in a minute.
So including in that, this isn't a bash on them in any way, but it does seem like it was an unusually long response time for a home invasion. Mm-hmm. I agree. They got my things back from this man and took him out of my apartment. I numbly went through the process of filling out a police report, telling them what happened. One of the officers commented that I should really keep my door locked at all times. I remember feeling like he was being insensitive at the time or blaming me for what happened, but I later realized his words were coming from experience. I'm sure he's seen this situation end differently for other women.
Yeah.
Within 30 minutes, the scariest incident of my life was over, but I've carried that fear, the violation, the anxiety of having someone intrude into my space for years. If it happened to me once, it could happen again. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. Please consider continuing because this isn't all doom and gloom. If this or something similar has happened to you and you're still struggling with the aftermath of it, the sleepless nights, the laying awake, listening to the sounds of forced entry, the nightmare, constantly checking and rechecking your locks, this is what eventually helped me. A year after this took place, my husband and I moved to the Midwest for his job. We selected a safe town with a nice apartment complex and chose the third floor apartment with only one point of entry. I looked up every statistics on crime in that neighborhood, finding that an isolated incident of car theft was the only report in decades. But I still couldn't sleep at night. It was definitely much better than staying in the same apartment in Memphis, but my husband often works the night shift now, and I simply couldn't continue to be terrified to sleep at night. I realized my biggest fear wasn't that something could happen again, but that if it did, I was just as unprepared now as I was then. I hadn't changed anything other than locking my door, and I knew I would likely freeze up again and leave my life to being able to hide well enough or having hold a door long enough to save my life.
You ain't get a gun?
And that was unacceptable. I walked into the martial arts school with an excellent self-defense program, introduced myself, and started taking classes. At first, I was quiet, hiding in the back room, and generally keeping to myself. My instructor, who is both incredibly kind and incredibly insightful, slowly built up my confidence and brought me out of my bubble of fear. After several months of training, I finally shared my reason for taking his class, and he worked with me tirelessly to give me the ability to protect myself in any environment. I've been training now for years, and the difference it has made in every aspect of my life is unbelievable. The meek, quiet girl that waited to die in that closet is dead.
I love that for her.
I am confident, I am strong, I am worthy of living and protecting myself and my home. I am no longer ashamed of how I handled that situation I was in, but I also understand what steps I can take to ensure that I am safe. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight, but it was worth it. I recognize that this may not be the situation or option for everyone. Your experience is valid, and however you decide to cope with your own story is the right choice for you. This is how I happen to do it, and it's worked well for me. Thanks again for listening. I'm a little afraid to share this because I'm not sure how people will respond, but maybe doing so will help someone else that's feeling alone with this. If anyone is struggling with their own story and wants a kind ear to listen, I'm here. Stay safe out there. Well, thank you for sharing your story. Honestly, home invasion terrifies me. I don't know how I'd react. How would you react?
So, it just made me think about something, because I'm like, why do you not get a firearm? But, like, also, people, I think we just, in America, are a little blasé about that. I don't know how I would feel about killing someone. But I always, like, if it's me or someone else, I'm less inclined. But if it's my family or someone else, I'll fucking rip your shit off. Like, but there was a period of time, and I was also going through something mentally, so this maybe wasn't the best plan of action, but I was really afraid of something happening. Like, there was just something going on in my life that, like, I was really afraid that something was going to happen. Like, it just felt like, and so I was like, I really need to be prepared when something happens, because it was like, something is going to happen. And so I went to the gun range, and I was like, I need to, because I know how to shoot a gun, but I was like, I need to be ready, like, and I did some really perfect.
And now she's ready.
That's so real.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, especially as a woman.
Oh my God, you're a woman?
And not that men can't be, victims of this. Obviously, like, anyone can have a home invasion. But it's something so especially sinister as women, because, like, there's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't even imagine, like, that's horrible,
My whole thing that terrifies me about home invasion is the interruption of my safe space.
Yeah.
If you come in here without me inviting you, like, that safety is gone.
Mm-hmm.
The sacredness of my space is gone. I no longer want to be here. So that's, like, the part that's, like, terrifying to me. But I do appreciate how you weren't reveling in being a victim. Like, you took that shit and you owned it, and now look at you, a badass martial artist. So, final thoughts?
I'm really glad that she's okay. That's really scary.
It is really scary. Home invasion is terrifying.
And I'm glad that she doesn't, like, blame herself, because you're literally a victim. Like,
yeah.
and I'm glad that she moved out of like that feeling like that, but like anything you do in a situation like that is the right thing for you to do in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, oh, I would have done whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't know. You don't know.
Literally.
We can say this all day long. I might not be able to reach my firearm. I might not be able to do whatever. Like, I might trip and fall and, like, hit my head. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know until you're in that situation. So girl, you do what you gotta do.
All I do know is that if I was that husband and you came out and you saw me with him pinned on the ground, I would have told you to close that door.
No, for real.
Snip something.
Be like, I don't know what he was doing out here, but something happened.
Here's my thing about robbing someone. Aside from home invasion, whether you come into their house or whether you rob them for their wallet, do you know this person has money?
It doesn't matter.
But that's my point. If you're gonna rob someone, rob the fucking rich. Where even if you make out with bank and it doesn't affect them, you still made out with bank. You're out here putting your life in risk to either end your own life or be put in jail for what, $20, $30? Who carries cash these days?
No, yeah. I mean,
More than like 50
I do.
bucks.
No, not often.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's where you don't. That's a symptom of something else. If it's for purely for money.
Purely for money. Money from people who I don't love.
These are all symptoms of other things. It's not like logic, you know? But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess my final thoughts are, don't break into someone's house. You don't need to be interrupting people's space like that. I don't know who you think you are. And if you think that you know better than me, then please get some help. For the person who wrote this story, thank you for sharing. I am sorry you had to go through that experience, but I am glad that you came out the other end a more successful person and can protect yourself. A badass bitch. She's boss and CEO
Of whooping ass.
of whooping ass. If you have a similar story to share, please let us know in the comments. We would love to share your story. We would love to hear your outcome and how you feel about this. And while you're there, be sure to like and subscribe our videos. And also, for more content to sink your teeth into, follow us on all our socials, linked here.
And remember, little omens.
Stay spooky.
We could die tomorrow.
You could die right now.
Home invasions.
Story
We're
time.
coming to your house.
Ugh.
I prefer mommy. I don't. I do not at all. That's gross.
Mommy and her milkers.
Stop.
I know your password. I would love to know what happened afterwards.
But I might die.
If you're here, I will protect you.
I turned around and you cowered 5 minutes ago, so I'm not feeling very good about that.
Coward?
After you hit me
Oh.
and I
That was
turned around.
panic setting in.
Yeah, okay. You think you're gonna fight someone off?
Okay, protecting myself from you is one thing. Protecting you is a whole nother thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
The Disney. Doing this.
Doing this.
Okay, bye.
Sid.